3:28 a.m.
You're probably wondering how I got here. What am I doing in a bathtub? And what are those Air Forces dipped in? Well, first of all, let's just take it from the beginning. It all starts in a poorly lit room with the man who overtimed an intro. You've probably seen this guy named Jake Polino do a bunch of Rit Dyes, coffee dyes, and whatnot. I thought I'd try it myself. The first thing I tried it on was these beat up Air Forces. I customized these a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. They're musty, crusty, dusty, and used for chores. You could tell, obviously. But I also wanted to try some fabric shoes just to see how those would work out. And yeah, you'll see what we ended up doing. I also have a brand new pair, just in case all that worked out. But yeah, this was fun. Let's get into it, baby. First things first, gotta prep the shoes. I have to acetone everything down, remove all the custom pieces I have, unlace them, get all that stuff ready to get them in the dye. If you have a brand new pair of shoes, make sure you're still doing that proper acetone. Otherwise, the dye's not gonna stay on there as good. But yeah, I'm gonna let this be an aesthetic thing for you. I hope you enjoy, baby. I'll be back here in a bit.
Eventually,
I got to this point. You can tell they looked a lot better, honestly. I didn't even expect them to get to this point. But yeah, it almost looks unrecognizable. This was the coffee I ended up using. I didn't use the yellow one everyone else uses. This is black silk, looks so dark. It was the darkest roast they had. I said, hey, let's try it out. These are the shoes once again, the coffee, and some water. I got it hot, not to boiling, but basically just under that. The original laces were really cooked and beat. You could tell they were all musty. So I ended up deciding I'll dye them as a side project and just use this new pair of laces. I bought them because they were stained up anyways and figured if I'd give them life, maybe they wouldn't just sit in the back of a finish line, you know what I mean? But yeah, here we go. Dipping this coffee in. I was literally just being generous with it. I have no idea how much I poured, maybe half of that can. I didn't use an entire bin like everyone else does. And then I also just used one pot of water. Like I said, I have no idea how much water that is, but yeah. Whipping the pot, as you could tell, getting it ready to go. This was a lot of trial and error, I'm not even gonna lie. You could tell these looked really clean. Well, not really clean, let's be honest, but better. Then I started dipping them in. I didn't have any weights because I have a small brain. So I tried using these dish soaps. It wasn't really working well, so I eventually decided, let me just rinse off my mistakes, take those out, and use my hands like a regular person, I guess. I don't know if that's what a regular person would do. I don't know. You know what I mean, though. And that's how I ended up in the situation from the very beginning, if you notice. But either way, very first one came out. I decided I'd give it a rinse after about 20 minutes. You could tell the bottom yellowed a lot. The top gave a good cream color. But I wanted to see if I could brown it a little more. So I decided after this rinse, I'll probably just do another dip dye. Well, in the coffee. Which I did. And after doing this one, you could tell it came out a little bit darker actually, and the laces looked super brown in the sink. They just weren't as brown as I wanted. So as you could tell, I washed them out and pulled out my pink dye. But as you can tell, the laces didn't dye at all, so it was a completely false thing. It was kind of spot dyed, but that might have been the stains that were already there. You can tell with the Air Forces, it actually worked. It's kind of a success. Not what I wanted because I wanted it darker, but you can tell how much more cream that leather got, and the bottoms became way darker. I decided I didn't like the look of it, so I wanted to go with a pink dye. I wanted to do top pink, bottom half coffee. But I decided I would just do the full thing pink and hope it gave an ombre or cool effect to it, which I ended up doing. But either way, comment and let me know if you think this coffee dye was a fail or a W. But as soon as I poured out that hot water, got the super pink Rit Dye, the synthetic one, By the way, I'm not sponsored by them. If they want to sponsor me, give me some money or some dye. I'll just take the dye, by the way. I'll take both. Give me money. I'm lying. But yeah, you can see I started mixing it up, whipping the pot with this one. And I wasn't going to be doing the whole holding it in there like the coffee. I wanted these completely submerged. So I made sure I got something heavy to put over them. Here's that little show off one more time before I dip them in. That pink one in there. Started going in pretty quick. I dipped the laces in there in a little bit, and you'll see it almost took on the color almost instantly. I got scared because it looked kind of magenta, but I said, might as well leave them in for maybe just 10-15 minutes and see how it goes. Alright, the time is now 10:26 p.m. Let's give it maybe 10 minutes and see what happens. Now that we're back again, you can see it's been 12 minutes. They're still in there right now. I almost want to take them out, but something evil inside of me is saying leave them for an hour.
6.5 hours later.
10:57. So it's been just over 30 minutes. I left this original audio just so you guys could tell what the actual times were. Let me take off this creepy tiki statue that might have generationally cursed me for using it as a dye project. But you can tell, look how magenta the bottoms came out. Contrast stitching, I was like, wow. That was completely unexpected. I kind of thought it was ugly at first and then learned to like it. You'll see why I learned to like it, because I got an idea as soon as I started rinsing it out. But I needed to fix him up because every time you do this, there's going to be little marks that's going to show where there was glue stains, acetone, something you need to fix. So I made sure I went in there and gave it a little fixer-upper. First thing I did before I gave her that fix-up, I wanted to make sure I rinsed out the laces. Look how dark they look, by the way. Rinsed them all out, made sure those got a good wash, and made sure they look clean. And I love how the aglets, shout out Phineas and Fer for teaching me that. The aglets, the tip of the laces, came out actually magenta, while the lace itself stayed pastel, matching the shoe. But yeah, like I said, here I am acetoning, fixing everything up before giving it that second dip dye. Here we are, maybe an hour and a half or so later since the very, very beginning. About 30 to 45 minutes per se since the last time you guys seen these and we seen these. I was worried to open these, as you could probably tell, but bam, they actually came out a lot cleaner with an even colorway. The contrast stitching looked really cool. I wasn't too sure about the magenta at first, like I said, but you'll see what character I thought of as soon as I started thinking about these colors a little more. Wanted to make sure I gave these a rinse off and let them dry to the side for a second while we gave these new shoes a try. Like I said, I wanted to try different techniques out, so I decided with the fabric shoes, I do the half and half dye that I didn't get to do with the Air Forces. Used the pink dye because it was already sitting there, why let it go to waste? As you can tell, I did the front half of one, the back half of the other. And yeah, I'll get back to you in a bit after I dip dye these and do a couple rinses. I did a couple treatments on these to make sure the dye really stayed and looked even to me. Let me know if this looks like really annoying or actually is kind of satisfying to you guys. But yeah, I like how the rinse out came. Look how pink and pretty they are. I decided to use the blue for the other half of the shoes just because the cotton candy vibe matched a little better. All I had was pink, blue, and green, so I thought pink and blue looked a little bit better than Cosmo and Wanda colors. But yeah, as you can tell, here I am with the blue, dipping them suckers in there. I wasn't too sure how much of the color to use, so I ended up using all of it. Again, not fully boiling water, but just under it. You can see the steam working itself out.
2,000 years later.
Ooh, that's satisfying, isn't it? Gave it a good rinse down, made sure I gave them a good wipe down, and then I went over to my computer and embroidery machine because I had a few ideas. Bam. You can see right there I'm creating an embroidery file for some cotton candy. Thought that'd be a cool colorway reference. So I took it over to my embroidery machine. Bam. Used an extra scrap of denim for it. I picked denim because it's sturdy and the background color didn't matter since it became a patch that I turned into a lace lock. I've had this concept for a while and have never seen a customizer do it. So if I'm the first you've seen, make sure you credit me because I'm the first as far as I'm aware. I love how these cotton candy runners came out, so I consider it a success. Comment your opinion though on these below and let me know what you think about it. I love the back and forth design and threw in the old Air Force laces for style since I dyed them anyways. Oh yeah, if you did notice earlier, I had a pair of jeans sitting in the background. I figured since I have this pink dye, I might as well try it out and see what that works out like. So, bam. I decided to take some old Carhartt denim that was stained up and give it some new life. So I decided to soak it up inside of that dye, let it bubble up, put my random tiki thing on there, and let it sit for a while. Had to really wring these out. It was hard because denim's thick, and especially Carhartt denim, bruh, it's like almost as thick as your mother. But yeah, I rinsed them out, took them to the living room to show you them. I could have left it at this and pretended like they were aesthetic and nice, but I wanted to give you guys a close-up. The reality is they were stained up and you could still see the stains. I thought might as well cover them up, so I came up with a couple easy stencils based on the color idea and created a custom piece. You could tell I'm painting that. If you can name that Pokemon, by the way, name it in the comments. And if you can't name that Pokemon, name any Pokemon you know.
A few inches later.
Here we are with the reveal. You can see my custom tag. I love how the distressing came out. But yeah, I did a whole Gengar, Haunter, Ghastly type of vibe to cover up all those stains. I think it came out actually pretty cool. I would wear them personally, but they're too big for me. Size 32. Hit me up on Instagram if you like them. BLITHE970. And also let me know in the comments, would you rock these? Let me know how cool they are to you. Either way, I consider those a success. But here we are with the Air Forces. If you don't remember, I told you earlier, I wanted to paint on them and fix up some of the pieces that I thought weren't aesthetically pleasing. I literally used a toothpick and Angela's paint for this. I hope this is aesthetic to you, because trying to film this and make sure we got this on camera nice was a little bit of a pain. If it's too shaky, hopefully next time I get it better. But we're learning about this together. We're learning together. Trust me. You've never seen shoes like this on the internet, so just be patient with me.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
Even Patrick's getting impatient, so let's get over this. As you can tell, I got it all done, and I wanted to show you guys the rest of it. If you couldn't tell from the colors, I came up with the Kirby theme as soon as I seen these colors. Shout out my Nintendo fans. But yeah, I pretty much came up with the concept on my computer, found some pictures and images that I thought were cool, took one and created an embroidery file with it, as you can tell, and then I actually made the embroidery file into a patch. Crazy, right? If you remember earlier, this is what those Air Forces looked like. Cooked, beat, musty, crusty, dusty. It looked all types of disgusting. But we revived them, gave them new life with this Kirby theme, and now they look like this. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, would you wear these? Did I actually revive the Air Forces? To be honest, I would not be able to know that these were the same two pairs. Well, the same pair. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Come on. Super Smash Bros. Kirby. Nintendo. Man, I really like how these came out. We made it to the outro of the video. After trying several techniques on multiple different materials, we finished off with 3 completely different items. If you made it this far and you're over 21, watch it again with your friends and take a shot every time I say as you can tell. If not, do it with your favorite snack. Also, comment which was your favorite and what ideas you want to see me make next. I think all 3 upcycles were a success, and I was so happy I made a deal to get even more pairs to customize. Here are all those pairs so you can see them, but don't forget we have the new pairs still too. So like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you soon. I love you. Let me know if you love me. If not, let me know that too, baby. Bye-bye.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.